Spyder's back!
Chanting loud. We want Spyders, CFL's red zone.
Hit it!
Spyder, Spyder, here comes Spyders, CFL's red zone.
Hit it!
Spyder, Spyder, here comes Spyders, CFL's red zone.
Hit it!
In the red zone.
How you doing? Spyder's back! Spyder's back for his sixth session of the new series I've been doing on the CFL, XFL talks, possible merger talks. So I've been doing, this will be my sixth one, and then I'm going to go away for a while because I don't want you to get sick of me. Anyway, this is a very important session that I need to be back to finish up from prior sessions, because just to tie it all in and conclude and give a conclusion to what I spoke of previously in my CFL/XFL merger talks video sessions, and this will be the sixth one actually. And I'm going to try to get it up today. I got some good news, like I promised you, and it's finally done. My Facebook page, okay, as you can see right here, I'll try to lighten it up here. Spyder CFL Red Zone Rules Facebook page now has my brochures up, which they weren't up before, my old and my new, actually same brochure, but the second version of it had Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule in a nutshell part, smaller print, but they're up. You can see all of them. Okay, all my CFL Red Zone Rule pages, brochure, and the upgrade to it as well. The new one, the back side of it, because the front is the same, and the insides is the back. Okay, that's changed. They're all there. Plus my, you're not going to believe it, what I promised you, my full presentation of my Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule, okay, that's being presented to the new Innovation CFL Rules Committee. It's there. I promised I would put it up. It's all there. Okay, my son and I were working on this for a while this morning, and take screenshots of it, and it's really sharp. It's the same presentation, the full presentation, that's being presented to the CFL Innovation Rules Committee. Okay, and my son also put up my latest videos too in this series of the CFL XFL talk merger videos that I've done. Now this will be the sixth one, and it will finish off this series for now. Okay, and unless there's some really big news happening that's coming our way, I'll be back. Okay, but I'll take a bit of a hiatus for a while. I want to get right into the session because I got 27 minutes and I already wasted well, I didn't waste. There was very important stuff to say. Okay, I'm really excited about it, and thank you to my amazing son, okay, that helped me with this. He's really been very supportive. He's been, you know, my backbone, really, and the love of my life, okay. I'm very proud of my son. I love him to death, and he's been behind my CFL Red Zone Rule, my biggest fan of my CFL Red Zone Rule. He wears my CFL Red Zone Rule at Stampeder CFL games. We wore it at the Grey Cup together. We have a picture together. I like to post that sometime on my monitors. You see the monitors are all working. We're at the 2009 Grey Cup together. I keep wearing this because I really like I got it at that 13th Man Grey Cup. That was together when, I mean, the riders, I mean, we met Darian Durant. He was a real nice guy. We met him. He was an amazing, nice person. And his parents, actually. But Calvillo, it was quite a story how it ended. The riders should have won that game. They won the 2007 when we were there, my son and I, and they should have won it, but this happened to have 13th man on the field. And that last field goal, that was missed by the Alouette kicker, field goal kicker, and then he had another shot 10 yards closer, and he kicked it through, and I was actually happy. I felt sad for the Saskatchewan Rough Rider fans, the nice ones that we met. We met a lot of nice CFL, Saskatchewan Rough Rider Nation fans in 2007 and 2009. But I also felt happy for Calvillo because his wife was going through cancer. He ended up with thyroid cancer as well. So it was quite a story, that Grey Cup. They call it 13th Man Grey Cup, and I have 2009 Grey Cup sweater. And I like this, and it really works with the set well. The colors in my CFL Red Zone wool. Okay, okay, let's get into the session. I did an agenda, and I want to finish it right through. Added a few things this morning, and I want to get right into the situation with the riderfan.com forum, the bashing of my rule and myself, and my CFL Red Zone rule presentation, and to set the record straight. I went on that site. I thought it would be a credible, respectful site. Wow, was I wrong? Like I explained in an earlier session, it was unbelievable what I experienced. And you know, the attacking of me personally. They even went after, you know, I have some, when I was younger, I put up some of I did an album. My artist name was Spyder. They are the Spyder, and this was, you know, when I was, you know, a lot younger, and I put it up, and I only put it up a few years ago, and you know, I did liner notes on it. And some you know, really awful person on that riderfan.com site actually went into that, found something on a song I wrote that was personal, you know, and you know, over the years I was able to open up about it. You know, it took me a long time, and I felt more comfortable at that point. But what he did and posted that on the riderfan.com site, that's this defamation of character. That is just about the cruelest thing that you could ever do to somebody. So I put my foot down, and I wasn't taking any more of this. And I sent an email to the administrator, yeah, I guess you'd call him, and I guess he's probably a monitor. I think he was personally in on it, I'll tell you the truth. And I told him if he didn't take everything down and take all these bully comments down and bashing of my rule, and even Steve Armitage, they had a picture up of Steve Armitage. They were bashing and attacking him. Can you imagine a sports legend? What they were doing was unbelievable, like the smearing and the inaccurate, lying, arrogant remarks made on the Rider Fan site. And it was the same, it was like a cult. There was quite a few of them doing it, a lot of them actually, too many. And knocking and bashing my rule and me personally, and taking attacks at my character, even my age, everything. Line by line, they tore my CFL Red Zone rule apart, my presentation, and just attacked me like viciously. It was unbelievable. So you know, smearing me, my rule, my presentation, try to damage my reputation, making false accusation, which is slander, by the way, about myself, personally, you know, attacking my character, my rule, and my CFL Red Zone rule presentation. So it was really, they were bashing and knocking my numbers and my data, my 18 guaranteed %, which I'm going to get into very shortly. But you know what, I warned them that if they continued, I was going to call the police, and I was just about to call the police when I got an email back from the administrator and that I guess the head of the riderfan.com forum site, and well, actually, no, he responded to doing what I asked him to do. I didn't get an email back. He responded from my email, and I told him that if all these horrible bashing, attacking, bully attacks on myself and my rule, my presentation, it's not taken down, along with my presentation, okay, my full presentation that I put up, I attached, and bashing of Steve Armitage too, and he had his picture up there and everything, and And me personally, the personal information, I said, if it's not taken down, I'm calling the police. And I was serious. And I said, I'm serious. And it was taken down, all of it was taken down, and it better have been taken down, I'll tell you, because I was going to call the police. And I could have easily sued them for defamation of character, slander, you know, me personally, my role, my presentation, what they were doing was unbelievable. And now we're up to 10 minutes. I don't want to talk a lot about this any more than I have up to this point, but I'm glad I'm not part of that. I'll never go on that site again, and I'm glad I took everything down. And if anybody else dares to say anything about me on there and continues to do this to me in any way, I will be calling the police on you, okay? And I will be pressing charges too, because I can sue you for slander, for defamation of character, and the attacks and the bullying, and it was very violent. Look up the word violent. It covers all that. It covers bullying, like all. Just look up the definition of violent, and they did everything that defines a definition of violating somebody, like they did me. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I want to get into the rest of my presentation, and thank God that I thank God actually, because I actually said a prayer about it, because I mean I wouldn't want anybody to go through that, and I was scared that Steve Armitage. I wouldn't even want to tell Steve Armitage what was happening, because he would have got involved too, and they would have been in really big trouble. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. And that's not against all the nice people we met in Rider Nation, my son and I, in the 2007-2009 Grey Cup. There's nothing against you, but these people got to be called out, and if they don't stop, they're going to be in big trouble. So they better stop. Okay? All right, let's get on with my session. So that's okay. And also, I just wanted to say, clarify a few things. Some of the things they were saying, which was totally ludicrous, saying that I only had 20 views and so forth, you know, and all this stuff. They're only up a day or two, and you know, one I already got over 140 now already, and like it's only had it up a week, and I have like getting closer now to 6,000 views on my CFL Red Zone Rule. And over 8,000 overall of my music, and I just wanted to read something, and it's so true, and I don't have to even read it, but you know, my music, my songs are virtually impossible to find, you know, I mean, where they're put in YouTube in places that no one can find it, so that's pretty good, you know. Imagine if I was put somewhere that everybody could find my music, and my songs. As a songwriter, I did everything myself. You know, when I was younger, I played all 8 instruments. I wrote everything, recorded everything, composed everything, mixed everything, did everything myself. You know, a one-man band, did it all the vocals, everything. Played every instrument, wrote all the material. That's pretty hard to do, and to bash me and so forth, and to bash anybody, anything they do, and they work hard on, my CFL Red Zone Rule, or any music, or anything to do as a hobby, to me are awful people. They're not good people. So anyway, so to set the record straight in the numbers, which I did, and also, you know, saying, you know, things that I went over before on my, which I don't want to repeat, okay, you know, things they were saying. I went over all the idiotic things they were saying about my rule. They didn't know anything about it, but I covered all that last time, and it was unbelievable. They didn't have a clue. You know, it's a 15-minute read. You know, a 5-year-old could figure out my CFL Red Zone Rule. A 5-year-old could read that and understand it. And as far as the numbers go, I'll tell you about the 18% guarantee. And they were knocking my numbers too, all this stuff. I worked hard on those numbers, and those numbers are accurate. And as far as the 18%, okay, if you're confused when I read the numbers and the data, well, I'll sum it up really quick for you. And like I said, a 5-year-old would understand it. The 54.8% was in 2017. I took that average, and using my Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule on 3rd down in the red zone, if needed, if they were to score, okay, 54.8%, okay, all right, that average, all right, like they do on 2nd down, right, and far as I'm concerned, at third down, it would be higher than that. But if it stayed at that percentage, if they need a third down to score a touchdown, right? And you got to remember, it would start at that percentage because they would be going for it on third down when they were stopped on the two down stop in the red zone. So if they were to score on the third down 54.8%, all right, which the average is right now in the CFL, it was in 2017, they would be guaranteed 18% guaranteed of 200 more points, which would equal 50 more touchdowns. Okay, that's because you take the spread between an easy chip shot field goal and a touchdown, which is 4 points. That's the 200 points, which is 50 touchdowns, right? More touchdowns. 50 more touchdowns in the CFL for a total of 200 more points. That's how easy my 18% is. Now let me tell you something about in 2018 what happened. Okay, you know how this is how important my CFL red zone rule is, and how accurate the information is on it. Okay, the validity of it. This is how important. Okay, my CFL red zone rule is. Listen to this. In 2018. Do you know the Riders, this was reported too, had 100 2-and-outs in the red zone? They had the lowest percentage of touchdowns scored in the red zone at 37.5% of an average percentage of touchdowns scored in the red zone. And you tell me my CFL red zone rule is not needed? And that guaranteed 18%, that's a guarantee of 18% at 50 more touchdowns scored in the red zone with my Spyder CFL red zone rule. So you don't think my CFL red zone rule is powerful? Well, it's powerful. Okay, you name another rule that can do that. You name another rule that can eliminate the two biggest killers of our CFL 3-down game. And I gathered all this information on my survey I did. I listened to the complaints. Too much kicking. That's why they watch the NFL, not the CFL. Too many 2-and-outs. Okay, too many field goals in a game in the CFL. Some 6 and 8 by one team in one game, and a lot of them, or most of them, in the red zone. And which is even magnified even more. Okay, 2-down stops in the red zone, resulting in another boring, predictable, non-eventful, easy chip shot field goals. Those two biggest killers in the red zone completely eliminated with my CFL red zone rule. How big would that be for a CFL 3-down game? That's all in my presentation. Okay, be huge for CFL 3-down football. It would sell. What would sell better? My CFL red zone rule with 50 more touchdowns scored in the red zone in the CFL regular CFL season among 9 CFL teams, are more boring, predictable, non-eventful, easy chip shot field goals, okay, and an average of 55% amongst 9 CFL teams, right? And witnessing before that, resulting in that, more boring, repetitive 2-down football stops in the red zone, playing basically 2-down football. Who wants to see that in the red zone? People want to see touchdowns scored. And the only way to correct this and fix this, which I did, and the information I gathered from my survey that I gathered, and my findings, is to, and that's how I come up with my CFL red zone rule, is to make Spyder CFL red zone rule make part of a CFL 3-down game. And it's a natural, not only for CFL 3-down football, but it's a natural for if the CFL and the XFL would emerge. But you can't play 4-down football. You'll get gobbled up. And like an article just in Russ Jackson I just saw today, I just want to bring this up. I know Russ Jackson. I met him because when I worked for a company, we did in Martok in the Valley, we did a ski thing, and he was on my team, and we were one of the sponsors, and we brought him in from Ottawa. They were sports legends we brought in, and I got to know him and everything. At that time, of course, I did my CFL Red Zone rule. This is like, years ago, okay? And before my CFL Red Zone rule. Okay, so he just said that he was talking, I had somebody that's in ties with the Ottawa Red Blacks, trying to convince them that, oh, it's different this time with the merge with the XFL, with the American teams to play 4-down football. He said if it's 4-down football, he's out. He said he may not renew his 4 season tickets with the Helmand Tiger gets. And you know what? I don't blame him, and I don't think a lot of people would renew, because if you no way, it doesn't matter if it's spring league or I think the CFL should go like May, and if they could have the Grey Cup and the Labor Day, that'd be good before the NFL. That'd be great. But with 3-down football, if they were to merge with the XFL, not 4-down football, you're going to get gobbled up. Doesn't matter if you tweak a few rules of the XFL then and play 4-down football. Doesn't matter if you add 9 teams. You're going to get gobbled up. The XFL are basically using the CFL and the CFL history and their brand and the we have Montreal, Vancouver, and Toronto unsuccessful, but we have 6 others that are successful CFL franchises. So, and the Grey Cup's a huge brand, a bigger brand than anything the XFL ever had. They're using the CFL for their own, to benefit themselves from. That's why they want it. But they want to, they want to push us around and go with 4-down football. But you can't do that. You got to stay with 3-down football, but you got to make it better and more exciting and more entertaining. And the only way to do that with Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule, like my son said, it's a perfect, ideal fit for the CFL and the XFL to merge, implementing my Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule, making it part of our CFL 3-down game, call it the Continental Football League when they merge. There was an article about CFL playing their season with 3-down, XFL playing their season with 4-down, and then the Grey Cup, and then they have their championship, and then they have like an XFL, CFL Bowl, whatever. Okay? Well, I don't mind that. That at least preserves a CFL 3-down game, but our game's got to be better. You got to eliminate the 2 biggest killers of a 3-down game in the red zone, which my CFL Red Zone Rule does. They got to bring in my CFL Red Zone Rule. Mr. Ambrosi, the CFL Innovation Rules Committee, are you hearing me? I know you're looking at it. Come on, make the right decision here, because the XFL is going to keep tweaking and bringing in different innovative rules. This will be the biggest, it will be a monstrous new CFL rule, and it'll be a monstrous rule for the CFL and the XFL to merge under the plain CFL 3-down football. Super exciting CFL 3-down football with Spyder's super exciting, tailor-made for CFL 3-down football, Spyder's CFL Red Zone Bowl. That's what you need. And then you have a product to sell. Will you ever? Okay? I got to move on because I'm pitching, it's just coming off my tongue, but I want to do that. So Jamie 9, I just want to say one other thing in relation to the Ryder thing, the bashing and attacking, the bullying and assassination of my character, the defamation of character. Jamie 9, okay? Jamie 9 of the Green Zone was really interested, had me on, and he was interested in the progress of my CFL Red Zone Rule. And he said, Spyder, what do you got? You got anything new? And your CFL Red Zone Rule was on a while back. And Mr. Vanstone from the Leader Post, okay, when I first had a call inside the Red Zone Rule, this is the Leader Post. Here it is right here. Red Zone, offense, focus, a proposed rule change. That's my inside the Red Zone Rule, which became Spyder's CFL Red Zone Rule. Right there, right there. Okay, Mr. Vanstone, and he was behind it and supportive. And he said it'd be a lot better than a 10-yard kick. He's talking about that in the red zone. Damn right it would be. A million times better. I have him in my presentation saying that quote too. And you know, like Dave Taylor from the Sports Cades, I gave him my presentation, my newest one, and he wished me all the luck in my CFL Red Zone Bowl. And these are all people, sports media people from Regina. You know, they never once, including the CFL and Mr. Ambrosi and Mr. Steve Armitage, they never once said, oh, it's 4-down football. They never bashed it. They never tore it apart. They were interested and excited about it and respectful. And what are you going to do? You got, okay, riderfan.com, you're going to attack them for being respectful and interested in my role and excited about my role. You're going to attack Jamie 9, you got to attack Mr. Vanstone, you got to attack David Taylor, you got to attack Pinball Clements that wanted 4 brochures. You're going to attack, of course you attack Steve Armitage, right? Of course you would. Because he gave my stamp approval and endorsed my CFL Red Zone Rule. A legend. 27 Grey Cups he's done. He knows more about CFL 3-down football than anyone that I know. And you attack him? Come on. I got to try to finish this up. I know I'm probably not doing everything I want to do here, but I'm trying. It's hard. I just want to, as I'm going into this, I just wanted to say that my presentation that's up now on my Facebook page is basically in like 10 segments, counting the CFL, you know, my field diagram, and then where it starts with Spyder's CFL red zone rule in a nutshell. And I just want to go over this quickly, and then the optional provision part of my CFL red zone rule, and then the remainder of the rules, which are basically all the CFL rules stay the same. Nothing really changes. It's an enforcement rule, okay? Guaranteed 18% of touchdown score, that's a biggie. Okay, there's a session on that. And then I go, Spyder CFL red zone rule given to Bo Levi Mitchell at the 107th Grey Cup. He was blown away by the 18%. There's a section on that. And on Mr. Van Stone and Mr. Armitage, okay, as well. And a few comments by the CFL fans and CFL players, former CFL players. And then my Spyder CFL red zone rule key, strong, compelling, super, that's the 10 super features and benefits and advantages of my CFL red zone rule. And then I go to the business side, okay, and the bottom line, okay, part, and my close, and then you end up with my banner there, okay? So, I'm almost ready to shut down here. I just wanted to do that. Boy, did this ever go fast. Oh, I don't know if I covered everything or not. I'm just going to check. I have less than a minute, okay? Okay, all right. All right, as far as my survey goes, I just want to say it was about listening, learning, acknowledging, and acting. And did I ever act? And I hit a home run with it. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. So check out my Facebook page and see my new full presentation up there that's being presented to CFL Innovation Rules Committee. They're talking a lot about the Canadian ratio going, and now they're talking about wanting to reduce it to 3. It's got to go, okay? Anyway, Spyder, here comes Spyder's CFL red zone rule. The CFL and the XFL, they need to adopt it. It's a perfect fit, like my son says, and it's ideal. And it would blow the NFL fourth down out of the water, and it'd be a monstrous down. And it'll be our third down with emphasis on it and a real signature on it with my Spyder CFL red zone rule. Take care. Sign off, Spyder.